From the very first moment that I touched down in Romania, the thing that was expected from me, and it was very clear, I went there knowing this, was that I was going to operate as a 100% professional, meaning I was going to be respectful, I was going to be competent, I was going to find the solution, not just talk about the problem. And I understood that before I even went over there. I knew that these are not the types of people that you're going to go around and have all these big ideas and, oh, look at this, I've got this great idea. No, I was going to be 100% a professional. Instead of coming up with all these ideas, I was going to just make them happen. So when it came to the mind frame that I had the whole time living with them is no excuses, regardless of how late we stayed up, regardless of how sore I was from training, regardless of how little experience I had doing like certain things. I was always going to show up. I was always going to make it real. I was going to find the answer, regardless of how long it took. I wasn't going to overthink it. I was just going to take action. And that mindset, that mind frame is what took me from a complete nobody to becoming rich. It's what allowed me to be able to take care of my family, be able to travel the world. Because you have to understand, bro, like regardless of where you're at right now, you can always find the answer. You just need to be confident enough in having a 100% success rate. I mean, just look throughout the rest of your life. You've had moments where you literally thought everything was over. It's done. Oh my God. But you found the solution. So take that mind frame that I just told you about and accept zero excuses from yourself moving forward. Do not allow yourself to get all emotional and overthink. Just focus on calmly and collectedly finding the solution, finding the answer, and moving forward. When it comes to networking with individuals like the Tates or any high-level person, one of the worst things that you could do is be a fanboy. Like I've seen this happen time and time again. You think that you just literally dressing like the person, trying to be the person, and just talking, oh my God, I really like this video, and oh my God, can I please get a picture? Oh my God. Like, if you fanboy, they're not going to take you seriously. You are going to be put into the category of a fanboy. You're not going to be put into the category of, this is a potential person that can work with me, maybe be a business partner or something like that. So do not be a fanboy. Number one. Number two, which connects to lesson number one, is every single time you meet somebody, you don't have to try to get a picture or turn it into a video. I've literally sat down with the owner of Telegram. I've met a lot of these big influencers. I've met so many impressive people, like ambassadors. I met the leader of a country in I'll just say the Middle East. I'll just leave it at that. And I did not film it. I didn't ask for a picture. I didn't do any of that. Because whenever you're networking with these types of people, you have to understand they are used to people trying to take their time. They're used to people trying to get pictures and get some like clout from being around them. So if you do that, once again, you're immediately going to be labeled as one of those people. Now, I'm not saying you can't always get a picture or video or something, but that should not be the first thing that you think about the whole time. Like, how can I get a picture of this person? How can I get a video with this person? Instead, which leads us to the lesson number 3, is to shut up and listen to what they have to say. I've seen this happen so many times as well whenever I'm out, as somebody tries to be impressive because they feel basically a sense of insecurity because they're sitting at a table with very impressive people. And so they try to put their ego out there and talk about, I did this business, or I've got this watch, or I drive this type of car. They try to be impressive, and important people see through that. Especially example like the Tate brothers. There's nothing you can say that's going to impress them when it comes to like material items. They have everything. So instead, you need to shut up, listen to what they have to say, hear them out, don't try to talk over them, and instead, you can impress them through the stories and experiences that you've had, but only bring them up whenever that person starts going in that direction. Don't just try to interrupt them and completely take control of the situation. And then finally, find ways to be of value. That does not mean that, because a lot of you like sitting here right now listening to this, you don't have much value to offer yet. But that does not mean that if you just shut up and you hear what they have to say, and then you'll be, I can actually help somebody with this. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing that you have right now that most people don't is time, energy, enthusiasm. And because you're building up a social media presence, the way I'm showing you and all this other stuff, that gives you an ability to offer value whenever you sit down at tables with these types of individuals. As an example, I've leveraged my understanding of social media, building up a newsletter, monetizing, launching products. I've leveraged that at tables where I didn't have any other type of value to offer. I found that, like, wow, okay, so this person really is interested in having a social media presence, but they don't really know how. Or, okay, so they want to increase their income. And as I've identified those problems, then I come in with a solution. And that's how I become a friend of theirs, because I'm not trying to take money from them or anything like that, which leads me to the final lesson. Stop trying to get something out of the situation whenever you're networking with people such as the Tate brothers, myself, or any other impressive person out there. Stop going into the situation thinking, how can I make money from this? How can I get clout from this? How can I brag to all the people about how I met Dylan or how I met Andrew or how I met Tristan or how I met Luke? And instead, focus on just genuinely enjoying being around those types of people. Like and I've said this, I probably said this like 2 years ago. That's my secret to networking. There's quite a few of you that have been following me for a while. You've asked me, bro, how were you able to network with all these cool people? It was because I didn't approach it trying to get anything out of the situation. I approached it always because I just like being around interesting people. That's it. So don't look at these people as super high level compared to you. I mean, obviously you need to be honest. Like, this person brings way more to the table than I do, but never fanboy, never sit there and try to flex your ego or flex all this other nonsense. Just shut up, listen, and find ways to be of value. Perspective that Andrew Tate uses when it comes to solving anything in reality. So any problems that pop up or anything like that is so drastically different than everybody else, is he genuinely believes in his heart that anything that happens, he can solve it. Versus most people, whenever a problem happens, they take it very personally. They feel a lack of control. They get emotional about it. On his end, though, as soon as a problem happens, without any kind of emotion at all, he just thinks about a solution and then he quickly takes action. He doesn't sit around waiting or, okay, well, hopefully this will just take care of itself. No, he believes 100% that he can influence it by his actions. And he truly believes this and he truly lives it. I mean, look through everything that's happened over the past couple of years. Look all the way back to whenever he was like a broke person and then he became a kickboxer and then he went out, just everything he's done with his life. He literally started on a council estate in Luton. For any of you who don't know where that is, it's basically the ghetto. It's where like poor people live. He came from that and he's built himself into the top G. And so in his heart, he genuinely believes, and I should even say genuinely knows, that there's always a solution and you don't need emotion. It's not personal or anything like that, but you can influence the solution. So regardless of what's happening in your life, you need to understand that just because it's happening to you does not mean that it's personal, like a personal thing against you. However, you have 100% influence in the outcome. Even if it doesn't become the outcome that you want yet, you still need to give your full effort coming up with a solution, because that in and of itself gives you a direct influence over that problem. So at the Battle House, we would always move as a unit. However, at the same time, we all have our own routine. As an example, I would usually wake up super early in the morning, like 6, 7 in the morning, and go ahead and get started on the day. So I'd go downstairs, get some coffee, go back up to my room, and get started on the day. And then around like 8, 9, 10 a.m., everybody's up. We'd all be down at our desks working, and then we would start training. Every single day, we trained as a team. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't work out on your own. You totally can. However, point blank period, we train as a unit. We get stronger and stronger together. So we would train together, and then throughout the rest of the afternoon into the evening, we would all work at our like the battle station. So we all had like a giant desk. You've seen it inside of like Tate Confidential, Tate Speech. You know, that long desk with all the different computers on it. We'd all work there. And so sometimes Andrew would go out to a meeting, or he would go take the car for a ride, or Tristan would go off and do his thing. But we would all, for the most part, be working next to each other, side by side. And the lesson I took from that is there is a great power whenever you have the entire team sitting down at a desk working together. And it's like an energy. And like everything you do is more effective versus you being it off at a coffee shop and then the other person's on the team somewhere else working, compared to you sitting down at a desk together, updating each other, working together. And then around, I'd say 8, 9, 10 p.m., we would all go and grab dinner together. And once we were actually at the restaurant, we would work from our phones. So we'd be sitting there having a cigar, eating steak, working from our phone, and then we'd go back home. And that's literally what we did 7 days a week. Every single day we train, every single day we're making money and we're working. Anytime Andrew confronts something like a problem, he doesn't sit there and get emotional. And that's how most people operate. Most people, rich people, poor people, most people immediately get reactive and get emotional. They feel like it's a personal attack. They start overthinking it and doing all that. Versus Andrew, every single time, it doesn't matter what the problem is, big, small, whatever, he stays completely calm. He does not get in his head. He doesn't start overthinking. He doesn't get all emotional. He just sits there and he understands that being emotional about something literally benefits you zero. He always thinks in terms of, what can I actually do to solve this? It doesn't matter what the problem is. What can I do to solve this? Because the only option that you have, if you really think about it, is to solve something. You can sit there and you can get emotional, you can get sad, you can get angry, it doesn't matter. But what does it actually do? Nothing. What happens is you just burn up all of your energy sitting there worrying and getting sad and getting mad. And then you end up getting calm and you just solve it. Every single time, that's what you end up doing. Versus Andrew, he has short-circuited that in the sense of instead of getting emotional, he just calmly says, okay, what can I do to solve this? It's annoying, or, oh yeah, this is stupid. Okay, cool. What can I do to solve it? And that's a very powerful mindset to operate in, especially in today's world, because if you sit there and you burn up all of your energy being emotional and angry and sad or whatever the emotion is, even happy, like what does it actually achieve? It doesn't achieve anything. It takes you on a roller coaster of emotions. Versus, instead of going on a roller coaster, you sit down in your Lambo or your McLaren or your Bugatti, put that thing in drive, and you just drive forward to the next destination. So remember, don't get emotional about things. Be like Andrew in the sense of you just calmly solve the problem. Andrew's workout routine is built around being simple, being effective. So as an example, whenever he's at his main house, like obviously he's got Professor Alex with him and they've got an entire gym, they've got all that, so they use weights, but he just focuses on being effective. Versus whenever we would be on the road and maybe we don't have a gym at the hotel or something like that, what can you do? So he just focuses on body weight stuff, like if we're on the road or something like that. However, the thing that's drastically different with his workout routine compared to everybody else's, because I literally have trained with Amir, that's his coach, is the amount of reps that he does is insane. So for you, whenever you go to the gym, what do? You do like 3 sets of 10 bicep curls. Andrew will sit down and do 500 to 1,000. So he's not sitting there trying to do maximum amounts of weight. He'll have like a decent amount of weight where it's kind of heavy and he just does like 1,000 of it. Or if he does push-ups, you would probably do 50 or 100 or something like that. He does 1,000. Except he doesn't just do the push-ups. He does the thing where you do one push-up and then you go down on your elbows and you push back up and then you do another push-up, or he'll do burpees with push-ups. He loves burpees. He really loves burpees. And he just focuses on high amounts of reps, because what does that do? It allows you to burn through the energy. Like if you're stressed out, if you have a lot going on, you just do high amounts of reps and you feel fantastic afterwards. So his workout routine, once again, it focuses around high amounts of reps. So instead of doing like 100 jumping jacks, 100 push-ups, he'll do 1,000 jumping jacks, 1,000 push-ups. And he does it every single day. And we talked about this with Professor Alex. He's the type of mind where he wants to sit there and work out hard for a day, take a day or two off, work out another time, take another couple days off, versus Andrew, the way he and Tristan operate. 7 days a week, they train hard. So he believes that all I need to do is wake up every single day and push my body. He's got that conqueror mindset when it comes to everything in his life, including working out. When it comes to managing his time, the way he views reality compared to you is you think about how much time you don't have. So you operate on the time frame, the mental frame of, oh, I don't have much time. Oh, how am I going to maximize my time? Versus Andrew only thinks about what he has to do. So he does not take into account, okay, how much time do I have today? He just doesn't even think about that. He thinks, what do I need to accomplish today? Now, of course, he also has a team and all of that, and I get into that inside of Team Building 101, but every single day he just focuses on being effective, because it doesn't matter as much about how much you're doing and all that type of stuff. It really matters, how effective are you? Are you actually knocking off your task list and all of that, which leads me to, he has a task list, or what we call a work list. He's got a work list every single day on what needs to be done. So he has a giant work list, and he just literally wakes up and he gets started. He doesn't sit around thinking about, oh, how much time do I have? Oh, today's going to be busy. Every single day of his life is busy. Like, you already know how busy of a person he is, and he's far busier than you guys. I can guarantee that. I'm far busier than you. But yet both Andrew, myself, Tristan, Luke, everybody on the team, we get things done. So to take a lesson away from this, stop viewing reality as like the scarce resource of, oh my God, I've got school and I've got this and I've got that, and how am I going to get everything done? And getting all emotional about it, and instead have a work list and just get things done. Find the most effective way to get whatever it is you have to do that day completed.